This is Between the Breaks
Real talk, right between the breaks.
with Brooke Hunter and Kadie Daye.
Hello, Kadie Daye.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, you say it like that because I came in here in crutches.
Well, no, okay, so when we got here super early this morning, like you normally park in a different spot.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I wonder what's going on. And then I didn't realize like you were in your car when I pulled up, and then I see the crutches like come out of the car before you. I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah, I wasn't going to crutch from the all the way back side of the lot.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
No, I don't blame you. So what do you got going on here? You didn't break anything because you don't have a cast.
No, my leg is very huge.
So wait, did you, because you run.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you would think it's from that. So I ran a marathon 2 weeks ago.
Well, that's why I thought it was maybe like a sports related thing.
It probably is. I think I know when it happened, but I ran the marathon just fine. And then I don't know if it was like due to overuse because I just ran 4.5 hours straight or what. But then 2 weeks later, I was playing slow pitch softball, running the bases, and all of a sudden my quad hurt really bad.
I was just going to say, I remember one day you came in here, you're like, oh my God, I ache, I hurt really bad, and I gave you some Advil.
Yes, that was Wednesday, I think.
Last Wednesday.
Yeah, because this happened on Tuesday night.
Okay. So it hurt bad enough that you actually, because I mean, it takes a lot to get me to go to the emergency room.
Well, my mom's an emergency room nurse.
Okay.
I kept asking my mom. I said, Mom, my leg hurts. Like, I can barely walk. I'm limping. I look bad. And she goes, oh, you're fine. And she looks and she goes, oh, we need to go to the ER right now.
So because I would imagine that as an ER nurse, like her first instinct is like, yeah, walk it off. You'll be fine.
Right.
But then she looked at it, and if she's like, we got to go to the emergency room, then like she's not messing around.
Then I was really stressed.
Yeah.
Because when my mom is like, let's go back to the ER. What?
Yeah. Yeah. So this was what, Saturday?
Saturday night, yeah.
Oh, dude, that's how you spent your Saturday night?
Saturday night's
I'm
all right
so
for
sorry.
fighting.
All right for sitting in the emergency room. I didn't do anything nearly as, I don't want to call it exciting because it's not exciting.
Eventful.
Yes, eventful. That's a good way to describe it. No, my son came over. I had no idea he was going to come over. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to come over, Mom. Well, okay, here's the thing. He has a car, but the car is like totally shot. Like his dad and I were talking, he's got to get a new car. So he had his dad's car. And his plan was to come here. And this is okay. And I know you're closer to his age than I am, but this is like a 21-year-old's logic. Okay. So he has his dad's car. And he's planning on stopping here for the night and then going to Michigan to visit a college friend, like an hour and a half away from us in Valpo. Okay. But the thing is, his dad needs his car for work on Monday.
Right.
Okay. So that means my kid drove from Geneva, Illinois to Valparaiso on Saturday. He then planned on me following him back to Geneva to drop the car off.
He planned this?
Well, I mean, how else was it going to work?
Did you know,
needed
though?
the car. No, I'm finding this out on Saturday.
Oh, my goodness.
So he's planning on me following him back to Geneva, which is about an hour and 20 minutes away, to drop off his dad's car and then bring him back here to Valpo to probably spend the night. So that would have been Sunday night into this morning. And then this morning, drive him to Michigan. Like, why wouldn't you just say, Mom, come pick me up in Geneva?
Right. Eliminate all the steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of...
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
So
he didn't tell you either.
No, but this is the way he operates. And so I'm texting his dad. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
He said, well, I told him if he would just wait, I would have driven him to you.
But he didn't want to wait.
I guess not.
Oh, no. So the truth comes out.
Okay, so then, all right, so Saturday night, I'm no, like, Martha Stewart, but cooking up a storm. So Saturday night, I made stuffed shells.
Yum.
And then my son wanted to make an apple pie, and he is, like, a real stickler with detail. Like, it was beautiful. You know how you, like, crisscross?
Oh, yeah.
The top of the crust? Like, he was doing all of that.
Wow.
So he made the apple pie, and then he stayed up late and watched a movie. I crashed out, and I said, well, if I'm going to drive you back to Geneva, you need to get up at like 9 or 10, because I got stuff I got to do, and I have to work on Monday morning. And then you're planning on me driving you to Michigan. Like, we got to, like, hustle here. He doesn't get up till like noon.
Jeez.
And so I'm like, okay, this is just not happening. He's like, oh, Mama, I'm just going to go back to Dad's and then I'll come back here like Monday or Tuesday. I mean, the whole thing was just such like a hot mess.
Well, he has a car, but his car is bad.
We got to get rid of the car.
It's not drivable.
Right.
It's not like your former husband / his dad could drive his car.
No, he couldn't.
Okay.
No. And
and
his dad and I talk all the time. And so the general, the consensus between his father and I is that we've got to get him a new car. He starts a summer job I think it's the first week in June. Mm-hmm. So he can't be using his dad's car because he mainly stays with his dad in Geneva. So, and obviously I'm here in Valpo, so he can't use my car because I got to get to work too.
Right.
So we got to suck it up and get him a new car.
You think you're going to go brand new?
No. Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
For a 21-year-old kid, a boy? Hell no. No,
okay.
no.
Between the breaks.
You still are on crutches.
Yep.
You had that to deal with. And then you just walk into the studio and you're like, I'm losing my voice.
I know. Like, can I get a break?
No, apparently not.
I think it's because I was crying so much over the last 48 hours, which sounds so sad.
Because of your leg?
That just feel like everything's gone wrong for like
I'm
a month
sorry.
straight.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And now my voice is going.
Oh, man. I will say that. And it's not like a cold, right?
No, I think it's honestly because, when you cry really hard and then you have sounds coming out of your throat?
Yes.
That was happening because there's potential for surgery. Yeah. And so that was me yesterday.
Okay.
And then I basically cried myself to sleep, which sounds so sad.
No, I don't blame you. Well, number one, nobody wants to have surgery. I mean, that's just not something anyone, I think, looks forward to. So did you have to go back to the doctor yesterday?
I have to go today.
Okay.
But that's what we were discussing on the phone when I made the appointment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I found out the worst part is apparently they don't knock you out for this surgery.
Oh,
so
and we already know
why.
how much you like needles and doctors.
Exactly.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, fingers crossed you don't. You're going to find out today, though? Or
I think so.
Okay.
I'll feel better, hopefully.
Man, oh, man.
Yeah.
You really can't catch a break these days. What's up?
I know. What's going on?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
This must be the quarter life crisis, I think.
Is that what it is?
Well, I'm like about to turn 26.
Okay.
So this is like literally all coming up right before quarter life. Like if everyone lives to 100.
Thank God I didn't know about the quarter life crisis. I know about the midlife crisis, but I know about the quarter life crisis. I don't know if I had one.
Well, that's good. Maybe you haven't reached quarter life yet, and you're just going to live forever.
I don't think that's true.
No, you don't know. They say to check your lifeline on your hand.
That's this bit. Well, you can't. We're radio, so you
Oh, is it that one?
I think so.
The one that goes around your thumb. I thought was the heart or the love line.
I don't know. I'm not a palm reader.
I don't know.
Don't
but
listen to me.
One time, someone told me that the lifeline was the one that goes straight across your hand, like from the index finger side to the pinky side.
Well, mine's not very big then.
Mine's huge. I'm like, I'm gonna live forever.
You have a line that goes clear across your hand.
Yeah.
See, mine doesn't do that. I don't know.
I don't know either. We need a palm expert.
See, I don't like palm reading. I don't like fortune tellers. I mean, not that they ever tell you anything bad, but I'm always afraid. Like, do you really want to know?
Well, they say ignorance is bliss.
I'm a firm believer.
Because if you really want to, or if you're meant to know, you will. It'll just come out.
True.
Yeah.
Well, the worst thing I had going on this week is that I bought this stupid car 4 months ago.
Is it good? I mean, like,
no,
you say
I don't
stupid.
No, I don't like. Well, I'll tell you why. It's because. So the check engine light, I took it to the dealer, got an oil change. I keep up with maintenance, all that. Check engine light comes on. It drives funky. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden the check engine light will go off. Then like 3 days later it'll come back on and start acting up again. Then it'll go off again. This has gone on now for like 2 months. I call them and they're like, oh yeah, well you can bring the car in a month. I'm like, a month is not good. I need to bring it in like now. So I can't bring it in until the end of the week, but here we've had some rain. My kid wants me to go pick him up in Geneva, Illinois tomorrow, and then the next day he wants me to drive him to Michigan, and I have this car that's acting all flaky.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be doing all this driving.
Well, also in Porter County and I believe Lake County, I think the two counties here, you have to get an emissions test.
Oh,
to
yeah.
pass your car inspection.
Well, okay, yeah, you've got to get those everywhere. I mean, I already have my license plate. I don't have to do that now. And there's nothing, like, there's no smoke. I mean, I think it's like a computer thing.
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
and it's going to be under warranty because the car isn't that old. So I actually called a service station here in Valpo, and the guy was super cool. He's like, you know what? I would love to see you. He goes, but if you bring it to me, you're going to break the warranty. So you need to take it to the dealership. So he was really nice telling me that.
Right.
So I'm going Friday, and I am just going to raise holy hell if they try to make me pay for it, because I shouldn't have to pay for it. There's a little over 10,000 miles on the car.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's definitely under warranty, even if it's, because I think you get 2 warranty measurements, the mileage,
okay,
and then how long you've had the car.
Okay, well.
So, I mean, you should fall under both of those.
Between the brakes.
So you have a significant other. Mm-hmm. Would you guys ever have a joint Facebook account?
Never, probably.
The reason I ask is because there are some people, like couples, like married couples, and maybe couples who just are very committed to one another. And I've noticed recently, like when scrolling, that they're joint Facebook. When I was married, I would never share, and he wouldn't want it. My husband wouldn't have wanted to share a Facebook. Not that there's anything bad on there, but like, it's just weird. I was just curious.
I think there's 2 different ways to look at it.
Okay.
One, it's older couples typically that don't use Facebook or social media a lot. 2, if it's a younger couple, I always wonder, do they have trust issues?
I was going to say there's got to be a trust issue there, right?
Like, I need to see your inbox, so it must be my inbox.
That's like
know.
giving your significant other the passcode to your voicemail on your phone.
Right.
You know?
Like, they might know the passcode to your phone, but maybe not to your voicemail to access your messages.
Right. Okay, I was just curious because I find it a little weird.
So my boyfriend, something that he did when we started going out, he was like, by the way, my passcode is this.
So he was just very upfront about it.
Yeah, and I was like, why are you telling me?
Right,
Do you think I don't trust you? And he's like, no, I just was letting you know in case you want to.
Interesting.
I'm like, okay, this is really healthy and different.
Interesting. Yeah, it is kind of healthy, I suppose.
Yeah.
It gives me something to ponder. I mean, I'm not creating a new Facebook account with anyone. I was just wondering. It was just something I noticed lately, and I was like, would I do that? Probably not.
It might be the trend. You know what else is a trend?
What?
Selling engagement rings on Facebook Marketplace.
I know. Yeah. I don't know that I would want to do that.
I love looking at them because sometimes people put the backstory as to why it's on Marketplace.
Oh, really?
It's like reality TV unfolding in front of your face.
That's
in
kind
the
of
region.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right, I'll have to check that out. It's kind of
sad for them.
Between the brakes.
So when you call someplace,
do
you say, hello, this is Kadie Daye, and I would like to make a reservation for 5:30 for, do you like introduce yourself when you?
100%. I'm so guilty of that. I'm like a chronic oversharer. So if I'm calling, like, let's say yesterday I went to the doctor.
Right.
If I was making an appointment to the doctor because it's still like a new thing to me.
Yeah.
Something my mom would do usually.
Okay.
I'd be like, hi, my name's Kadie Daye, and I've never called to make an appointment before, so I don't even know if I'm calling the right person. I do this whole spiel.
Because there, I guess, is a video on TikTok that's going viral because some woman always calls wherever she's calling and she says who she is. Mm-hmm. And I guess some of her friends are like, nobody does that.
Yeah, I saw that video and I felt personally attacked. Because another thing I do, yes, and I totally blame my dad for this.
Okay.
Whenever we would go out to eat when I was younger, he would look at the server's name and be like, oh, thank you, Matthew. Or thank you, Adriana.
You know what? I know several people who do that. I don't do it. Well, sometimes I guess I do, but I don't do it all the time. I think, though, that it's good to do that with a server because you're putting a personal spin, right?
Yeah, my dad's like, oh, I just like to be nice. So I started doing it too.
Yeah.
But every time I remember growing up, when he would say that, I would always think it was a former student of his because he's a teacher.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, Dad, you know all these people? So anyway, I do it now. And every time I go out to eat, like with my boyfriend or my friends, they'll be like, that is weird. Do you know them? No.
No, I don't think it's weird. I mean, there was this guy that I used to date, and when we would go out, he did the same thing. And he was always very cordial and very nice. And like it struck up like a nice little rapport between, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know. Especially when you're dealing with something like food.
Right.
You know, you want to be polite. So there was something the other day too. It was a survey about people who send food back.
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you ever send food back when you...
I feel so bad. I actually vividly remember one time I was going out to eat, and I think it was out in South Bend.
Okay.
And I was with this guy that I used to go out with. It was a nicer restaurant. Anyway, black hair in my food.
Oh, no. See, that have to go back.
And I was like, oh, and I was like, ugh, it was so obvious, too. I'll just eat around it.
I don't very often send food back, and I don't think there's anything wrong with doing it. I think it's the way that you do it.
Yeah.
You know, if you are polite about it and say, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be a pain here, but there's a hair in my food.
Yeah.
You know, instead of being super confrontational and saying, get over here right now. You need to take care of this. Like,
I know, I was so embarrassed.
I wouldn't do it that way.
Yeah, I was like,
wouldn't.
I'll just eat around it. They're like, absolutely not when they found out. And then, of course, they fixed it. And then the worst part is they could have just fixed it, but then they had to take it off the bill. And then I feel so guilty.
Did they comp you dinner?
Yeah. And I'm like,
but
no.
see, I don't think you should feel bad about that because if you'd been a jerk about it, that's one thing. Mm-hmm. But I think, you know, sending things back is totally fine. It's just the way in which you do it.
I'd just rather, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
I don't either. But if there was like a bug or a black hair in my food, I would absolutely say something, but I just wouldn't be a jerk.
Okay, a bug is different though. Like if it's a bug, okay, it's the bug's fault. If it's a hair, they might pinpoint it as the employee's fault.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, either way, it's not something you want to find on your plate when you're dining out.
100%.
Or dining in, for that matter. But I think that you can say something and you can be polite about it and not be confrontational, not come across as a jerk. And if you do that, I don't think wrong with it.
Yeah, I guess in person it's better, but you know, tone can get misconstrued over text.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, yeah, something like a text or an email, like no, because you can totally misread something that's not meant to be rude or confrontational in a text, but it comes across that way. It's just different.
And I have a bone to pick with people who don't actually address their concern when they're at the restaurant or at the business.
And then do it later.
Yeah, and then they'll put a negative review up. And then, of course, the tone sounds aggressive. Like, maybe more aggressive than they mean. But if you give them an opportunity to respond, like, it's different if they got your concern when you were there.
Right.
And then they're like, actually, we're not going to handle this. Then write the review.
That's different.
Yeah.
If they come across as jerks in the way they handle it, then I think it's open season and you can say what you want. But you should try, if you're there, deal with it there.
Yeah.
Before you go online and get all, you know, powerful behind your little keyboard and acting like a jerk. I don't think that's right.
And there's so many local business owners in the region.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's someone's livelihood. It's not like a chain.
Agreed.
Between the breaks.
Today is National Penny Day.
Yeah, Lucky Penny Day?
Is it Lucky Penny? Yeah, you're right, Lucky Penny Day.
Yeah.
But we just found out today that the last production of pennies is going to roll off the line early next year. Isn't that weird?
I think that's so dumb. And I think they're not thinking of the people. Hot take here.
Okay.
Everything that's like $3.98 or whatever is going to go up. It's not going to they're going to roll it back.
No, it's not going to happen.
It's only a penny. The first transaction.
But it adds up.
Yeah.
Every penny does add up, and you're right. And I do agree with that. I was talking about that earlier this morning. The other thing I think is that I guess we're talking about the Treasury Department.
Yeah.
I think they think that most people don't pay with cash anymore. That they pay with a debit card, a credit card, Apple Pay, Google Pay. And I mean, I admit, I very rarely have cash on me.
I mean, I used to have a lot of cash on me because I used to bartend on the side.
Well, that is a reason to have a lot.
I straight up lost. I didn't lose it. I left it at home, my wallet, and I was going through the grocery aisle or the grocery checkout area, and the bill came to $73.
Okay.
I did not have my debit card or any card. I had to pay with ones.
So you were there
$73.
Yes. 73.
And this person behind me was like, "What do you do for work?"
See, I don't know that I would be that suspicious over that. I would think that maybe you're a waitress or a bartender because that's what when you tip, yeah, most of the time, you know, if it's like a $5 or $6 meal, you're going to tip a couple of bucks. I get that. I mean, my old roommate was a bartender and he always had cash and it was usually small bills.
Yeah. I still to this day have tip money that I use for my coffee fund.
That makes sense though.
And I pay in cash. So I don't like this. Recall the decision.
Oh, the removal of the penny. So, I mean, the next smallest coin is now the nickel. Isn't it interesting though that it costs 4 cents to create 1 penny?
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know.
So how much does it cost to make a nickel?
I don't know. Is a nickel, is that metal more valuable than the penny?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either.
I gotta look up something right now as we're talking.
Okay.
Because I'm not trying to sound, this is just my opinion, you know. But are they trying to cut back on expenses because they're trying to make up the debt deficit?
Oh,
I just went to the usdebtclock.org and currently, as we're speaking,
it
is $36 million is
Or is it trillion?
Trillion.
It's probably trillion.
No, I was just doing my math here because there's a lot of commas. There's 4 commas here. 36 trillion, 885 billion, 919 million dollars in counting
but
in debt.
Even with the removal of the penny and removing the production cost of the penny, it's not gonna put a dent.
Exactly. So what are you doing? You're
I
just
don't
making
know.
things more expensive for people. We're in an economic crisis right now.
You know, I was saying earlier, somebody like my kid, because when he was younger, and he still does it now, if something goes out of production, he's like, oh, I'm going to keep that because it's going to become really, really rare and valuable. Mm-hmm. And so I know he's going to tell me, you know, Mom, whenever you have a penny, make sure you give that penny to me because I'm going to keep it because one day those are going to be worth a lot of money. I don't believe that.
Okay, well, you're also telling that to the person that has so many $2 bills that no longer are made.
Well, I think $2 bills are good luck.
I mean, I think that they are actually increased value, but let me tell you the story real quick.
Okay.
When I was 8, it was my birthday. Actually coming up on the anniversary of.
Okay.
And my great aunt gave me a Ziploc bag of 52 $2 bills. This is back in 2000, so I don't know how much wedding dresses would have been then. But she said, save this for your wedding day and use it towards your wedding dress.
Have you?
I've saved it, yeah.
You saved it?
Yeah, but I don't know
That's
how much.
That's pretty cool, though.
$2 times, like, because 52 of them, that's $104. You think it would pay off a wedding dress? I don't know.
I don't know.
In 2025?
It depends where you buy your wedding dress. Now, I don't have the exact number with me, but I read someplace just recently that if you save a quarter a day,
okay,
after a year, you have something like $10,000.
What?
Yeah.
A quarter a day?
Yeah, I read it. I read it online. It's got to be true. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it is true or not, but I thought about it. I was like, well, maybe, you know, I could afford a quarter a day.
But how do you get the quarter? You have to, because if you go to the bank and then you get bills, do they get, I mean, I guess
you
they give out
get a
roll of quarters. But if you get a roll of quarters, how many days worth is that? Because that's $10, right?
Oh, don't ask me. My math sucks.
10 times. Oh, no. There's four and a dollar. 40 quarters.
40 quarters.
So that's 40 days. So every 40 days, you have to go and get a roll of $10 quarters.
I guess.
Because you can't just get one quarter from the bank. Hey, I'm here for my 25.
No, no. All this money talk is making my head hurt.
Agree. Speaking of money, not to do this again, but this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, I guess the gas is supposed to be the lowest it's been since 2003.
Yeah, that's good news.
Is that because the penny's being phased out?
I don't know, because AAA says, you know, this is going to be the most busy day on the roads forever. They always say that.
They say that every year?
Well, you just wait now. 4th of July, we're going to hear the same thing.
Oh, I'm sure.
This is Between the Breaks
Real talk, right between the breaks.
with Brooke Hunter and Kadie Daye.